Hi, this is Mato. In this video I will show you a game between Paul Keres and David Bronstein. This game was played in Moscow in 1951. Paul Keres had white pieces and he started with d4. David Bronstein played e6, c4, black to move. Bronstein didn't play d5, he played f5, going for Dutch defense. Knight to f3, knight to f6, g3. This is the standard grandmaster move against Dutch defense. Bishop to e7, bishop to g2, and both players castled kingside. c6, knight to c3, d5. Bronstein is playing Stonewall Dutch. White to move, b3, intending bishop to b2, is the most played move. Keres played knight to e5, knight from b to d7, bishop to f4, knight takes on e5, bishop takes on e5, knight to d7, white to move. Perhaps bishop to f4 comes to mind. What do you think? Keres played e3, e bishop to f4, then perhaps d takes on c4, and white would play e4, e3, knight to b6, perhaps knight takes on e5 should have been considered. We have knight to b6, c takes on d5, e takes on d5, white to move. Keres decide to bring his knight, which is now on c3, to e5. This is a long journey. Knight to e2, knight to c4, queen to c2, bishop to f6, bishop takes bishop, rook takes bishop, knight to f4, rook to h6, rook from f to e1, knight to d6, intending knight to e4, f3, and now super sharp g5, knight to d3, queen to e8, intending queen to h5, queen takes pawn on h2, knight to e5, knight to f7, challenging the knight, f4, knight takes knight. White to move. How would you recapture and why? Would you capture with d pawn or towards the center? Keres recaptured with d pawn. This is a better move than f takes on e5. Let's see why. If f takes on e5, queen to h5, bishop to h1, and now f4. Perhaps next could be bishop to g4. This position favors black. We have d takes on e5. There is no f4 now, and the movement of the bishop is limited. Pawn takes pawn on f4, e takes on f4, queen to h5, threatening queen takes on h2, bishop to f1, bishop to h1 was also a good move, bishop to f1, bishop to e6, queen to f2, king to h8, bishop to e2, attacking the queen, queen to f7. White has defended one blue h2 pawn. But what now? What would you do? What should be the plan for white now? This is the plan Keres came up with. He will fight on the queen side, exchanging his two pawns for two of the black pawns. One black pawn will be mined, and that pawn will be a target. perhaps b pawn will be a target of white pieces. Black will of course try to defend the pawn, while white will create other weaknesses in the black camp. Minority attack. Let's see how it works. b4 was played. a6, a4, rook to g8. Would you push the pawn now? Keres did. A pawn sacrifice. That must work. A takes on b5, a takes on b5, c takes on b5. Black has two pawns. Both of them will die. Definitely, maybe. Rook from e to b1. Rook from h to g6. Black also has a plan. He would love to play h5, h4, something like that. Of course, h5 immediately doesn't work. Rook must go back to g7 first. Okay. Just to tell you that bishop to d7 is not defending the pawn, because bishop takes on b5. So we have rook from h to g6. Rook takes on b5. From 6 to g7. Perhaps intending h5 now. White to move. Rook from a to b1 was expected. This is also a good move. But Keres found a trickier continuation. Very tricky one. Watch this. Rook to b6. Rook to c8. Rook to d6. Rook to c6. Rook takes rook. Pawn takes rook. Pawns are now connected. But there is another problem. Problem at the back rank, and there will be problem on the 7th rank. First move, rook to a8 check. Rook to g8, what else? And now, rook to a7. This is paralyzing black position. Queen to e8. Queen to c5. Black position is difficult to play. So, Bronstein wants to exchange rooks. White to move. How would you continue? If rook takes rook, king takes rook, white is only slightly better. Well, better move than rook takes rook is rook to a6. This is not what Keres played. Paul Keres played a killer move. Please pause the video and find the killer move that white played in this position. The killer move is bishop to h5. What a move. Queen to c8, defending the pawn on c6. Well, if queen takes bishop, then queen to f8 check. Rook to g8, queen to f6 check. Rook to g7, queen takes rook, checkmate. So we have a queen to c8. And now rook takes rook. King takes rook. Queen to e7 check. King to g8. How would you continue now? The best move for white is g4. Queen to d7. Well, if f takes on g4, then f5 is winning. How to defend? If bishop takes on f5, bishop to f7 check, king to g7, queen to f6 check, king to f8, bishop to g6 check, king to g8, queen to f7 check, king to h8, and then checkmate. To avoid this, David Bronstein played queen to d7, intending to exchange queens. This move didn't work. Nothing works. White played a move and black resigned. The move is deflection. Bishop to f7, check. Black resigned. If bishop takes bishop, queen takes queen. What else? If king goes to g7, then obviously queen takes is winning a piece. Queen takes bishop is winning a piece, but there is a forced checkmate here. Queen to f6, check. King to f8. Bishop takes bishop, discovered check. King to e8. Queen to h8, check. King to e7. Queen to g7, check. If king takes on e6, then checkmate on f6. If king goes to e8, queen takes queen, check. King to f8, queen to f7, check. Mate. There is no way out. That is why David Bronstein resigned in this position. A masterpiece from Paul Keres. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess and bye for now.